Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hey, here we are. It is a Friday Miguel and Holly Uncensored podcast, which you can listen anywhere you listen to podcasts on the iHeartRadio app, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere. Thank you so much to the Platypus Posse for supporting. We're going to read some more reviews next week because y'all are
doing it.
Oh, it's so awesome to see the support and that's one of the things that I love and hate about radio and podcasts is that you're not in front of us. We can't see your reaction. Or you can't even call in on the radio show. And so you never know who's consuming it. So it's nice to see the comments on the reviews, everywhere that you can leave them. So thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. Well, we got two guests today. The first one I wanted to bring on, especially for you Charlotte folks, but this also applies to wherever you listen from. Welcome, Nicole Hanks, to the Uncensored podcast. Welcome, Nicole.
Thank you.
Nicole, they have asked me to join the Charlotte Angels Advisory Board. Now, if you're like, what is a Charlotte Angel? Nicole, what is it?
Charlotte Angels is a regional chapter of a national organization that supports foster families. That's the easiest way to say it. But we support the entire foster family, not just the children, because we know that over half of homes close within the first year because parents just get really overwhelmed very quickly. They're running these kids around to their visitations and therapy, school, and then they just have to do day-to-day life, grocery shopping, cooking dinner, laundry. And it gets to be very overwhelming to the point where sometimes they say, I can't do it anymore. We need to find a new home, new placement. And then those kids get bounced around. And sometimes they can go to 10 or 12 homes just in their course during their time in care. And it adds a lot, as you can imagine, a lot more trauma to what they're already facing because they're being bounced around. There's no stability and it's inconsistent and makes it very difficult for trust and building relationships. And it just a slew of problems usually come from that. So we support the entire family to make sure the parents feel supported and encouraged to continue to do what they're doing and, feel supported enough to do that.
Now, and I think I didn't know this until we had a conversation. It was like a quick snackable conversation on the Miguel and Holly Instagram this is very personal to you. Obviously, you help lead up the Charlotte Angels, but I didn't know that one of your children came from the foster system. Can you talk more? Because I wanted to dig more into it during the Instagram live because I was like, holy crap, I had no clue that this is a part of your family.
Absolutely. So my oldest son is 18 now. He'll be 19 next month. But we adopted him when he was 6 years old. He actually came home on his 6th birthday, and he was in care the first 5.5 years of his life. And he was in about between 10 and 12 homes during that time. Wow. And had we had the programs and the resources that we do now for him, I think his outcome would have been a lot different. He struggles a lot with building relationships, being able to trust people, self-sabotaging is a very common thing that we see from kids in care because they're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. In his case specifically, he would sabotage because it was easier than having somebody else hurt him. If he was the one who
made it off first.
Exactly. If I can be the one to do it first, it will hurt a little less than if this person I love or this person that I look up to does it to me. And that's what would happen to him a lot and to a lot of these kids.
Wow. So what has that journey been like for you all? Now that you have all these years of perspective on it, how has it been?
We're in a much better place. He is in a much better place than even just a few years ago. It was very, very difficult. He pretty much had every diagnosis you can think of. He had a lot of struggles. And from 13 to 17, he was actually in residential facility. because of those traumas and how deeply impactful, it was really difficult for him to just kind of do day-to-day life. And that's exactly why I'm so passionate about this and what Angels does, because we understand how impactful relationships are, in these intentional relationships, and mentors, and having someone that one of these kids can look up to and trust and go to when they need something, and not be afraid to, is very, very important. Somebody that is a consistent face in their life makes a very, very big difference. We actually, National Angels is out of Austin, Texas, and they had UT Austin do a very big study on our programs and the impact they make in the lives of foster children and families. And it's like looking at the numbers and the data that came out of it. And I'm a big data person. Like, I want to see what is this really doing? And it was mind blowing. I knew that what we do and our programs are impactful, but the amount was just unbelievable. So we know that it's making a difference and that we're changing the statistics. And that's the thing. The statistics are outrageous too. I mean, the human trafficking, the incarceration, homelessness, teen pregnancy, continuing those cycles, the rate of that is so high.
Absolutely. And it happens so frequently that you see something that has happened that causes trauma in childhood. It doesn't just go away. You don't just forget about it. The body remembers. You will always remember in your like subconscious almost, and they come out in different ways as we go through the teen years and even into adulthood and even late adulthood. You still see people struggling if they don't, get proper attention and care, and, someone to ask about what happened when you were younger to sort of work through it. It impacts every single part of your daily life. And I just think it's beautiful that you're addressing this, about it, and that you're helping to make it better for these kids.
One of the things I was telling you, Miguel, the other day is that we forget that these kids in care grow up to be adults. We look at them as innocent children, and yes, they're in care and they're going through these things, but we don't forget that they're going to grow up and be adults in our community, and we want to set them up for success. And you're right, Holly. I mean, your body remembers. You have these triggers, you have these things from your childhood that comes out. Look at us. I mean, I didn't go through any of those things that my son did, but I have moments of anxiety or moments of just like, so you can imagine what they go through.
Yeah.
So I think one of the great things and what really stuck out to me when I helped you all with that very first event last year is how there are so many aspects of it. So like, I feel like most people aren't in a place to be able to foster a child, but that's why organizations like Charlotte Angels are so important, because there are so many different ways that you can help out. And it's not just monetarily or time, but there's also sharing the word about Charlotte Angels. So what are the different ways that people can help out?
Sure. I mean, yeah, fostering is not something everybody can do. I mean, we would love it because there are a lot of children that need homes right now, but it's not something that everybody can do. Your lifestyle, your work, your own family, it's very difficult. But yeah, volunteering for events. If you can't commit to volunteering to one of our programs, spreading the word, that is the biggest thing. And that's what our goal with Charlotte Angels is this year, is to really spread the word, get out there. Make sure people know, first of all, make sure that families experiencing care know that we're an option. We're a free resource. There is absolutely no reason that every family who needs it shouldn't be using our programs, because they're free and they help give, a mom or a dad a little more sanity to be able to keep doing what they're doing.
So awesome. I love that so much. And that really stayed with my heart about how, because there are so many times that you want to help, but you're like, I just don't have the energy or the time or the resources. But anyone can share from the Charlotte Angels Instagram page about events or volunteering, or if you have a free Sunday that you can just go help out if they have something going on. It costs you nothing for your time. And speaking of, y'all have a big event happening this Sunday. So obviously it's a podcast, so this is time shifted. But if you are in Charlotte and you have time this Sunday, May 21st, what are you all doing?
Yes, we will be out Sunday, May 21st from 11 to 3 at Stumptown Park in Matthews. And we are going to have a big circus-themed festival. It's going to be fun for the whole family, free and open to the public. And we're going to have a bounce house, face painting. We'll have some stage entertainment, some games and prizes, carnival games too. And it's just going to be awesome. Sir Purr's going to be out there from 12 to 12:30, and we're going to have dance party, and it's just going to be a good time.
I love it.
And you told me that one of the great things because we have a lot of people that listen that don't live here in Charlotte, and one of the beautiful things about the skyline of Charlotte is that however many thousands or millions of dollars they spent, a lot of the skyline, they have lights on them, and so they light them up for different months or days, or like for Ukraine or for Pride. And so they're lighting it up. Is it teal?
Teal is the color for National Foster Care Month. So yes, uptown is going to be lit up teal the night of our festival on Sunday, May 21st. And so when you look up or you look out, you'll be able to see it teal, and you'll know that's for Charlotte Angels and that's for our foster families.
I love it. And how can people get involved here in Charlotte, or for like our Tampa? We have people in San Diego, up north, Texas. How can they get involved wherever they are?
So you can go to charlotteangels.org. There's a spot there. You can see locations different. We have 22 chapters across the country, so there might be one near you. And you can follow us on social media. On Instagram, we're Charlotte Angels Nonprofit. And if you do want to get involved, if you in any capacity, you can always DM us. We're happy to kind of see where that might fit. You never know. Sometimes people who are here in Charlotte will pop into one of our events. We do some events specifically for our foster families. And then we do a lot of things open to the public so that we can kind of let them do things quote unquote normal, kind of feel a little bit more like they're included with everyone else. And so you could get involved that way. So charlotteangels.org or Charlotte Angels Nonprofit on the social.
Thank you so much, Nicole. We appreciate all the work that you do.
Thank you. Thank you guys. And thank you, Miguel, for being such an important part of our advisory board and having such amazing ideas and a heart for what we do.
Absolutely. Well, good luck on Sunday, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, when I did the program and met some of the families, and then on the advisory board, there is a woman who went through the foster care system. And as we're sitting at this very fun, lighthearted dinner, each of us sharing our story, like who we are, introducing ourselves. And then we all sort of were having side conversations, and this woman was telling me her foster care system story. We're sitting there at this restaurant, and I had tears rolling down my eyes, and I'm just like, oh my God. And you came out and you're doing so well. And we're gonna have her on the podcast. Just her story is just so inspiring. And when I think about it, it gives me goosebumps. The fact that people can come from such what's the word I'm looking for? Adversity, and make it through, but then look at it as a power, and not as a deficient.
Right.
Mhm.
There's just something that's so just amazing about that that I love.
It's that story of from pain to purpose.
Yes,
exactly.
So it's very cool.
Yeah.
Our next guest, Miss Soulworker Stacy.
Hello. How is everybody today?
Doing well.
Girl, it's a day.
It's been a week, but
It
today
has. I was gonna say, Holly, I am all about that. And hi, how are you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So can I just say, and because I was listening in the background, my mom did foster care for about 7 years. And it's something hugely deep in my heart. Everyone knows I have an adopted daughter, and I don't think people truly understand the impact and truly understand how important it is for exactly what Charlotte Angels is doing. It's y'all, being a parents to our own children are hard, and it's double even more difficult to bring in a stranger basically into your home and deal with what they're dealing with, and then going with that. So what an amazing, amazing thing, Miguel. I'm sitting here crying as you guys are talking. I'm like, oh, so if you guys can get involved in that, definitely do it. Just do it. So
and it's something that like I don't volunteer for a lot of stuff just because I know that I can't commit my full energy to it, because just everything that we put out as the Miguel and Holly universe takes up all of my mental energy. But when they asked me, I was like, I didn't even think about it. I was like, yes,
right.
yes. Because
it's part of your purpose too. But we've talked about that.
Well,
You're supposed to be a voice.
I just love being able to shine a spotlight on people, causes that don't feel like it. And like sitting at the table with Nicole and then the other person that runs Charlotte Angels with her, Camille, and they're at this place right now where they're having a hard time just getting the word out. And so I'm like, what can I do? Do I need to go bang on the other TV stations, the other radio stations? People need to know. And it's just, I'm
it's
happy
huge.
to be able to help.
And absolutely. Okay. So Holly will be proud of me for this. Y'all, I went to see a neurologist yesterday. And
Great.
Yes. And so meet Razzie. It's my razzle dazzle cane. I'm accepting my stuff.
Hey, just so you know, we made it a little gentler on my mom when she got a cane. We called it her walking stick because that sounds kind of like you're hiking. I don't know if you want to.
It's my pimp stick.
Oh,
you got a pimp stick, girl.
I got a pimp stick.
Probably just as well, if not better.
So I'm on new meds today. Everything's fantastic. So we're partying. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. So I'm better than fine today, Miss Holly. I'm better than fine. So how is everybody? Everybody made it through retrograde. Yes, exactly. True. So how did everybody get through retrograde? Can we talk about that?
I mean,
we slumped through.
It was stressful. It was
how long was it? Because I'm feeling it like this week.
No,
even though it's done, right?
It's the shadow of this week. It's the hangover.
Yes.
Before we get into that, can you just, because I feel like we have new people coming into the podcast all the time, and I still feel like Mercury retrograde is still one of those like
woo woo.
Yeah,
what is it?
Like people have heard it and seen people talk about it, but they're like, I don't want to look dumb, so I don't know what it is. So what exactly is Mercury retrograde?
It's when you put things in the microwave. No, so it is okay. So it is kind of woo-woo. And honestly, I've always been somebody who's very skeptical of the whole thing, and it has completely proven me wrong, especially for situations of this last crazy events of life in the last 3-4 weeks. Basically, Holly, how would you explain it? Lunar shifts, energy.
Well,
I mean,
it's actually Mercury. So it's what happens is you look at the planets in the night sky, and as they're kind of moving through their rotations or whatever, it doesn't really do this, but based on the point of where the Earth is towards Mercury, it sort of look like if you were to get your telescope out and look into the night sky, that when Mercury retrograde starts, it looks as though the planet Mercury has like stopped in its path and started moving backwards.
Yes.
That's why it's called retrograde. But not only Mercury does this, by the way. All the planets do this at some point, and it means different things. I think it's just that Mercury got like a bad rap and also is like the most well-known sort of. I don't know. I guess Mercury got the MVP for like the retrograde status.
What was it in school? My very educated, like it's the my. it's the big one.
A lot of stuff having to do with relationships and communication and technology and travel and business dealings. And so there's a lot of things.
Emotions. Plus we had a massive eclipse.
Oh, I forgot about the eclipse too. Yeah.
On my birthday. So it was like one of those things that, and with it being Taurus, and if you're into astrology, and I used not to really be, I used to be one of those things, but it's fascinating because there's so much truth to it. And even in my own personal podcast, Sean and I were just talking about trying to do some astrology for our next episode because there's so much truth to the energies and how everything else is going.
Yes. And Miguel and I have always agreed on this. When we say there's like truth in astrology, it's more the overarching things like the sign you were born under and your rising sign, like those types of things, like the big things, right? Not necessarily like you grab like you go online and you're like, what's my daily horoscope? That's bull. I'm sorry, it's bull.
Yep.
Am I gonna have a turkey
it's completely
sandwich or a
crap.
ham sandwich for lunch today? That's
somebody
what I want my horoscope to
that's
tell
like a
me.
get-
Did you know that I have people texting me those kinds of questions?
I bet.
No, like legit. Hey, so if I wore the pink shoes today, would I meet the person I'm going to marry? And if I had the ham sandwich tomorrow, would I get money? No, like no. Like this is legit stuff, y'all. This is why I got a business phone number.
Yeah.
I've heard
Because I couldn't handle it anymore.
the Mercury retrograde, doesn't it have to do with something about water and like how it's being shifted and the moon? And since we're basically a lot of water in our system,
That's just moon phases, I think.
Yeah,
that doesn't
okay.
have to do with Mercury retrograde.
Got it.
That's more, and like somebody, I think it was like Neil deGrasse Tyson was like, this is, sorry to break it to you, but the moon stuff is nonsense. And I'm just like, I understand that from a physicist point of view, but from like somebody that's a little woo-woo, I'm like, I feel like
we have a new moon tomorrow, and it's like new refreshing. Y'all don't understand, and this is gonna sound so goofy, and I'm down for goofy if y'all know me. It's like, especially like Taurus placement. So I am a Taurus sun sign, rising Cancer, and then I am a Gemini moon. And with all of that going on, according to everything going on, for the next year, I'm actually supposed to catch some kind of a break. We'll see. We will see.
it's not a science. Keep in mind, it's not a science.
But it's fun, and it's fun to pay attention to. I look at it as great entertainment, and like I said, there's always a little bit of truth to it. This retrograde kicked my ass emotionally, physically. Yeah, no. So I wanted to see how y'all were doing with all that.
What were the time? Do we know the dates for what it was? Do you know, Holly?
It ended on Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, I don't remember when it began. I think it began in obviously
it was April. Yeah, I want to say it was like 21st or something like that
through Sunday. So it's just it
would
would have been
the peak was literally 5/5. That was like that weekend was the peak of all the crazy.
Jason Hall on Facebook says April 21st to May 14th. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like
were you having a rough time?
Yeah. No, I feel like
You're also a Leo, and you should be having a rough time. Cancers and Leos, the fixed signs, Cancers, Leos, Aquariuses. Holly, what's the other fixed sign? I'm having a brain moment.
I don't know these things off the top of my head.
I know all of this. I think it's Scorpio. No, it's not Scorpio.
I have to look it up. I have a really great book. The book is entitled I think it's like Everything You Ever Need to Know About Astrology, and it's been fantastic so far. I'm like halfway through it. But there's too much for me to memorize. That's how I am with crystals too.
Right.
I don't know. I have to I gotta have like something to look it up with me. I'm always Googling things about astrology. Like I know my own stuff, but for anybody else, I don't know. Let me look it up for you, or with crystals, or with whatever the case may be. I can't, it's like my brain doesn't have an extra jar to keep all that information.
It's so much fun. And I love, the newest thing too that I've been looking at on TikTok is apparently moon phases. I don't know if we've talked about this or not, but like apparently, like if your moon phase when you were born, you can go find a website, and if you were born and your moon phases match like somebody else's.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I believe all that. I don't know about that.
So we finally found a nickname for my person, Mr. Pepper.
I'm glad we have a nickname.
We have a nickname for the person I cannot feel. Our moon phases are exactly the same.
Interesting.
And so that means that you two are really connected when it's
and it also turns into like your supposed soulmates. The other thing too that I've been finding out, that if your rising sign is the same as their sun sign, that's also another way of connection. I've been looking.
Guess what? I'm a rising Leo, and you're a sun sign Leo.
So that's
you're gonna get along with your people. Calvin and I are like this. He's a Cancer, same type of dealio.
And that's so interesting to me. So it's like, I mean, but
may I make a quick caveat before you ask your question? Yes. Quick caveat. I don't want you to ever put too much into it and like think, well, the stars have me misaligned because
No.
anything that I've ever read is like, I'm a Capricorn, my person is a Sagittarius. Those two signs are not supposed to go well together because a Capricorn is very solid footing, needs a plan, determined, hardworking, all these things. Sagittarius are notably free spirits. They don't like to be tied down. Don't get too close to them. They're flighty. They want to do their own thing and they love to travel. Well, on paper, obviously, that doesn't look good. But in reality, he's not a very good Sagittarius. Like, he does love to travel. He's got a little wanderlust as well, kind of like Miguel does. But he also craves security, which is not a Sagittarius trait. And he does not, he loves relationship. He needs it as like almost a form of security, which is very unlike a Sagittarius. So he's just an off Sagittarius, but also you have to look at where are your other placements.
I was just going to say.
What's your rising sign? What are in your other houses going on? And those may be the more dominant thing for his thing. So I just don't want anybody to put too much stock in like, oh my God, your cat's butt is about to burn.
I know. Did you see that? I saw that.
I was like, you're going to have a viral moment. The cat's tail's going to keep on going.
That's right. Just for the people just listening, we're on a video and all of us obviously on videos.
That's your candle too, Holly.
Oh, you better use that. Look at you with more confidence, by the way.
I know. See, I'm just saying.
Anyway, I got Stacy a candle that was supposed to boost her confidence. Anyway, the candle's lit and this cat just put its butt on a lit flame. And I was like, holy Jesus. Right, anyway.
I was like, he's going to sit on that flame. It's going to shoot up his booty hole. Like, he needs to be careful.
Good thing he didn't fart because...
What is
Stacy,
happening?
your hair would have caught on fire, girl.
Anyway, so Miguel, I apologize. I just wanted to make that disclaimer because it's not like, well, this is literally written in the stars and you can't do anything about it. There's always going to be exceptions to rules. So Miguel.
Absolutely. And have it as fun. Yeah.
Well, that was my question is going to be like, if I were single and when I was like painfully single and I was always looking for a sign, a reason or something from the universe to say, hey, your person is on the way or look for this as your person. So if this were Miguel from, 7 years ago before Abe, I would have been like, wait, so do I need to be looking for a XYZ, XYZ, XYZ,
right.
But you can't put that much stock into it, you're telling me.
Right. And you shouldn't base it on that because the person is good. Everyone is an individual and they all have their own special, unique traits and talents.
Connections are everything. And, like my husband, he's an Aries and I'm a Taurus and our birthday, we're not supposed to get along at all. But in his chart, he has more earth than he does fire. Ironically enough. So it evens out. It's bizarre. And look at you and Abe. Okay. So you're Leo. Abe's a Cancer. Again. You know what I mean? Not supposed to.
That's kind of like
fire.
Y'all don't get along.
Not supposed to. But fire and water can make steam.
It's because you're a bitch. Fuck you.
Okay. You stop bitching at each other.
Fuck you, bitch.
Y'all bitching ass bitches.
Here we go. But see, Holly and I are earth signs. And so we walk along the same path because we get along. She's a Capri. I'm a Taurus. And you guys, the other thing too is like water signs and earth signs are going to get along better than air signs and earth signs.
Where do I get all this information? I have absolutely no idea other than
I'll call you later. I got you, boo-boo. And I have an astrology Bible. Same thing with Holly. It's fun to look into. It's neat.
Yeah, I just read about it. I look at stuff on TikTok. I look at stuff on Instagram, and that's where I get some of my stuff. And then like this book that I really enjoyed, I ordered it and I'm like, oh, what is this? When I do get a chance to read, it's fun.
Yeah. And Holly, have you got into numerology at all yet? At all?
No,
I am a master number 11, which is apparently means like psychics and stuff like that are 11s.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What the fuck is numerology?
Well, the numbers have different meanings and stuff. That might be a little too inside on this, and so we'll sort of
we'll baby step into that. We'll baby step. It's
Wait,
fine.
Okay, help. Wait, so the number like the day you were born, or just
yes, something. It's a whole thing. It's a
That's why
recipe.
I don't have any.
I know
I'm
how to
so
do
out
all
of
of that too.
That is just so fascinating.
So
So, do you believe and do you think it's true when people do tarot card readings, Stacy? Like, is that something? Do you believe in that? Is it
Yes.
real?
Yeah, because it's just a matter of, though, where is the energy coming from? It's like, what portals are you opening up? What, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
you guys know how I work and where I come from and what I do. Not everybody has that. You know what I mean? That's why my
Mhm.
work is so different. Other people have other energies that they work with that they pull that in. And so, yes, I have good friends that are tarot readers and they're very legit. You know what I mean?
Stacy. Stacey.
Get out of that house!
Cat.
Get out!
If you listen to the podcast
Out!
and you have never watched this on Facebook or YouTube, please scrub to 30 minutes in.
30. I wrote it down.
Your
Get out of that
cat
house.
took down half the side of your house.
The candle's out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
All
God.
All right. Listen, maybe we should move on.
Maybe we should
All
Actually,
right. Well, I
Yeah.
think
Enough talking about tarot cards.
yeah, don't talk about it.
that's the cue. Stacy, are you doing sessions right now? How can people get in contact with you? Oh my gosh.
Sorry. Soulworkerstacyrenee.com. And yes, I am doing sessions. I'm getting back in the groove of everything. And you can also listen to me on my own podcast with Stacy and Sean, Good for the Soul. It's available wherever any other podcasts are available. And for Instagram, I'm at Soulworker Stacy Renee.
Like that, I can't wait to just go back and watch
Me
that
too.
moment.
I
That
can't
was
wait.
hilarious. Well, thank you, Stacy, and please go check on your cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's
Yes.
Emily's cat. She's fine. It's good. Her name is Peaches.
Girl, Peaches said, "I'm having a day today, girl."
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
Peaches. She's a D to D. I mean,
Oh.
that Max is
Goodness.
no, yeah.
That's fine. That's
My
no
husband's
worries.
over here dying. I mean, behind the screen right now. So embarrassed. Okay.
I love it. Well, thank you, Stacy. Have a
I
good
love
weekend.
you guys.
Love
Bye.
you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Producer Kelvin, what's all of your social media?
At Kelvin Live, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can follow me on PlayStation. Pussy Killer.
Holly, what's your social media?
Radio Holly, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Hi.
And mine is at Miguel Fuller. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere, and especially on Be Real. All right, we'll talk to y'all next week. Bye.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.